Hello and welcome to our pose of the day. For today's pose, we're going to be exploring butterfly pose. Now, butterfly is known as Cobbler's pose or bound angle pose, so you may know it from a different name. I'm going to refer to it as butterfly pose just because it reminds me of butterfly wings. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to start with the full expression of butterfly, of how we come into it, and then I'm going to explore modifications. So if you want to use blocks or bricks, I'll introduce those at the end of the tutorial. And then we'll practice our butterfly or cobbler pose together. So to begin with, for our butterfly pose, we're going to begin to take the feet in front of us, and we refer to a lot of the diamond shape or the triangle. So the diamond is where the feet are further away from the body. Triangle is where you're beginning to bring the heels closer in towards the torso or the body itself. Now, as we begin to bring the feet in closer, what you might explore or experience is a rounding of the spine, or the knees beginning to come closer towards each other. Now, if they're way past the body, we're going to begin to come back into our diamond. The hip flexors and the knees may just not be comfortable. So what, again, we'll do is begin to come into your diamond or your triangle, making sure the sit bones are comfortable with the earth. We tend to cue about bringing the hands along the shin, ankles, or maybe to the feet. And we're beginning to roll the shoulders back. And what we're doing is having a straighter lower back. We can stay here lengthening within the neck. And the full expression of our butterfly is where you begin to hinge at the waist. The elbows can come along the thighs, maybe the shins. And we begin to fold. Again, keeping the length in the lower back. Now, some of us may have the thumbs on the arches of the feet, so I like to cue as if you're opening up the feet like a book. So again, we're lengthening. Elbows may come down as you hinge, and we're folding down. If you want to take it further, some of us might take the elbows to the outside of the shins and beginning to fold down. And then you begin to come back up. And that is our butterfly cobbler pose. So what I'm going to do now in the tutorials, I'm going to show you how to use blocks and bricks. So one variation or modification you can take is, as we begin to come into the pose, is sitting on a block or a brick. I'm using a thinner block, and what happens, if you might notice, is as you begin to bring your diamond or your triangles, the knees open up a little bit further. The feet are lower than the hips. And again, you take the pose in the same way, hands along the shins, staying here, beginning to hinge and opening up your butterfly or cobbler pose in that position. Another modification that you might explore, and you can still stay seated on this particular block, or what you can begin to do is to bring the earth closer, is using blocks of bricks underneath the thigh in between the earth. So you can bring those here and here just to help open up the body, particularly if you get a lot of shaking within your butterfly or cobbler poses. By having something for the legs to rest on, it gives permission to the body to go, okay, I'm supported, I'm safe, and we can explore this a bit further. So again, you might introduce a block or a brick. If you don't have blocks or bricks, you can use a towel or maybe even a hoodie underneath the legs, and you can begin to fold down. So those are the modifications or variations for butterfly or cobbler. So all we're going to begin to do is practice together for a few rounds of breath, maybe up to a minute if we can get there. And what I would suggest is that if at any time you need to take a deeper breath, you might use the body as a pulse. So as you inhale, you might lift a little, and then exhaling, folding a little bit deeper. Let's see what works for you as you come into the butterfly or the cobbler pose. So I'm just going to put these aside for now. If you're using blocks or bricks, having them where you need them, whether you're sitting on them or just nearby. I'm beginning to take the soles of the feet towards each other. And again, deciding whether you're going to do a diamond or a triangle. And making sure the sit bones are comfortable. Hands along the shins, ankles, or the feet. So we're going to lift. And as we exhale, we're hinging down. We might stay here, elbows along the thighs, shins. So you might fold a little bit deeper. If you are super flexy to get the nose towards the toes, maybe taking the nose past the toes. We're just exploring. Taking 2 more rounds of breath. Begin to lift the torso up. And what we begin to do is take the hands underneath the thighs, soles of the feet to the earth. Gently bring the knees towards each other. And you might give yourself a gentle hug, maybe tucking the chin towards the chest, or simply letting the knees and the hips climatize. So that is our butterfly cobbler pose. Let me know in the comments whether you've used blocks, bricks, or maybe a hoodie between the legs and the earth. And I'll see you again for the next pose.